Hello and welcome to this special space, a sanctuary where we explore how Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness can help you unlock your creative potential while nurturing a sense of calm and well-being in your daily life. I'm so glad you've chosen to spend this time with me here on the Mindful Zone. Whether you're new to these practices or someone who's already begun their journey towards self-discovery, this video will guide you step by step through ancient wisdom and modern techniques that blend seamlessly into everyday living. Today we're diving deep into an exploration of creativity, not just as something reserved for artists or writers, but as a universal human quality that lives within each of us. Creativity is about seeing connections, solving problems, and expressing yourself authentically. And guess what? It thrives when we cultivate peace, presence, and compassion in our lives. That's exactly what Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness offer. Tools to quiet the noise, connect with your true self, and let inspiration flow freely. Over the next 2 hours, we'll journey together through 10 chapters designed to inspire, educate, and empower you. Each chapter builds upon the last, offering practical insights and exercises you can incorporate into your life right away. From understanding the foundations of Buddhism to learning simple yet powerful meditation techniques, from overcoming creative blocks to finding joy in simplicity, we'll cover it all. This isn't just theory, it's practice. It's about creating small shifts in how you think, feel, and act so that big changes can unfold naturally. You don't need any prior experience, just an open heart and a willingness to try. As we move forward, I invite you to approach this session with curiosity and kindness. There's no pressure to get it right. This is your time to relax, reflect, and reconnect with yourself and with the world around you. If you're watching this after a long day, take a moment now to settle in. Maybe grab a cup of tea, find a comfortable seat, and allow yourself to be fully present. Let's set an intention together. Today, we're not trying to achieve anything extraordinary. We're simply showing up for ourselves, for our creativity, and for the possibility of transformation. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and exhale slowly. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. Good. Now, let's begin. Before we dive into the first chapter, I want to remind you that this is your journey. Pause whenever you need to. Rewind if something resonates deeply, and most importantly, trust yourself. Everything you need is already within you. We're just here to uncover it together. So, are you ready? Let's embark on this path of discovery, one mindful step at a time. Chapter 1. What is creativity? Creativity is one of the most profound and universal aspects of being human. It's not something reserved for artists, musicians, or writers, though they certainly embody it in beautiful ways. Creativity is a fundamental part of how we think, solve problems, and interact with the world. It's about seeing patterns where others see chaos, finding solutions when challenges arise, and expressing ourselves in ways that feel authentic and meaningful. At its core, creativity is the ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, to imagine new possibilities, and to bring those visions into reality. And today we're going to explore how Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness can help you tap into your innate creative potential. Let's start by reframing what creativity means. For many people, the word creativity conjures images of painting masterpieces, composing symphonies, or writing novels. While these are all valid expressions of creativity, they represent only a fraction of what creativity truly is. In fact, creativity shows up in countless forms throughout our daily lives. It's the way you rearrange furniture to make a room feel more inviting. It's the innovative solution you come up with at work when faced with a tight deadline. It's even the way you navigate difficult conversations or find joy in small, unexpected moments. Creativity isn't limited to artistic endeavors, it's a mindset, a way of engaging with life itself. In Buddhism, creativity is deeply tied to the concept of awareness. When we talk about awareness, we're referring to the ability to be fully present in the moment, to observe our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. This kind of presence allows us to break free from habitual thinking patterns and opens the door to fresh perspectives. Think about it. How often do you approach a problem using the same old methods, only to end up frustrated because nothing changes? By cultivating mindfulness, we learn to step back, observe the situation with clarity, and respond in ways that are more aligned with the present moment rather than past conditioning. One of the key teachings in Buddhism is the idea of emptiness, not in the sense of lacking meaning, but in the sense that everything is interconnected and constantly changing. This teaching invites us to let go of rigid attachments to specific outcomes or identities. When we release the need to control every detail, we create space for spontaneity and innovation. Imagine a painter who starts with a blank canvas. If they cling too tightly to a preconceived vision of what the painting should look like, they might miss opportunities to experiment, to play, to discover something entirely new. The same principle applies to life. When we embrace uncertainty and trust the process, creativity flows naturally. Another important aspect of creativity in the context of Buddhism is the role of compassion. Compassion isn't just about feeling empathy for others, it's also about extending kindness to ourselves. How often do we stifle our own creativity because we're afraid of making mistakes or being judged? We tell ourselves stories like, "I'm not talented enough," or "this isn't good enough." These inner critics can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking risks and exploring uncharted territory. But when we practice self-compassion, we create a safe environment for creativity to flourish. We remind ourselves that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every misstep is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to refine our ideas. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in nurturing this compassionate attitude. Through mindfulness practices such as meditation or simply paying attention to our breath, we develop greater awareness of our thoughts and emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively to feelings of doubt or fear, we learn to observe them with curiosity and non-judgment. This shift in perspective gives us the freedom to move forward despite discomfort. It's like shining a light on the shadows. We realize that the fears holding us back are often much smaller than they seem. Now, let's consider how creativity manifests in everyday life. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly come up with brilliant ideas while others struggle to think outside the box? Often the difference lies in their relationship with stress and overwhelm. When our minds are cluttered with distractions, or worse, consumed by anxiety, it becomes nearly impossible to access our creative potential. This is where meditation comes in. Meditation helps calm the mind, reducing the noise that so often drowns out our inner voice. Even a few minutes of focused breathing can make a significant difference, clearing away mental fog and allowing inspiration to surface. Think about the last time you had a sudden insight or burst of inspiration. Chances are it didn't happen while you were frantically trying to force an answer. More likely, it came to you during a quiet moment, perhaps while taking a shower, going for a walk, or lying in bed just before sleep. These moments of stillness give our subconscious mind the chance to process information and make connections that our conscious mind might overlook. Meditation amplifies this effect, training us to enter states of relaxed focus more easily and consistently. But creativity isn't just about having great ideas, it's also about bringing those ideas to life. This requires discipline, patience, and resilience. Here again, Buddhist principles offer valuable guidance. The practice of mindfulness teaches us to stay grounded in the present moment, focusing on one task at a time rather than getting overwhelmed by the big picture. When we approach projects with this kind of intentionality, we're less likely to procrastinate or abandon them halfway through. We learn to celebrate progress, no matter how small, and to trust that consistent effort will eventually lead to results. At the same point, impermanence, a central tenet of Buddhism, reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Ideas evolve, projects transform, and sometimes things don't turn out the way we envisioned. Rather than resisting change, we can embrace it as an integral part of the creative process. Each iteration brings us closer to something richer, deeper, and more authentic. This acceptance of impermanence fosters a spirit of experimentation, encouraging us to take bold risks without being paralyzed by the fear of failure. Ultimately, creativity is about connection. It's about connecting with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. When we practice mindfulness, we become more attuned to the subtle details of our environment, the colors, textures, sounds, and sensations that often go unnoticed. These details serve as fuel for our imagination, sparking ideas and insights that might otherwise remain dormant. Similarly, when we cultivate compassion, we open ourselves up to collaboration and community. Creative breakthroughs rarely happen in isolation. They thrive in environments where people support and inspire one another. So, as we continue this journey together, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with creativity. Where does it show up in your life? How do you nurture it? And what barriers might be holding you back? Remember, creativity is not something you either have or don't have. It's a skill that can be developed with practice. By integrating the teachings of Buddhism, the discipline of meditation, and the awareness of mindfulness into your daily routine, you'll begin to unlock a wellspring of inspiration that has been within you all along. Chapter 2. The Foundations of Buddhism. Buddhism is a profound and ancient tradition that offers timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of life. At its heart, it provides tools to help us understand ourselves, our minds, and the world around us in ways that foster peace, clarity, and creativity. Today we'll delve into some of the foundational teachings of Buddhism, ideas that have been guiding individuals toward enlightenment and well-being for over 2 millennia. These principles not only serve as a framework for spiritual growth, but also offer practical insights that can enhance your daily life, including your creative pursuits. Let's begin with the 4 Noble Truths, which form the cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. The first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering, or dukkha. Suffering doesn't just mean physical pain, it encompasses dissatisfaction, unease, and the sense that something is missing in our lives, whether it's the frustration of hitting a creative block, the anxiety of facing uncertainty, or the restlessness that comes from wanting more than what we currently have. Suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience. Recognizing this truth isn't meant to make us feel hopeless. Instead, it invites us to confront reality with honesty and courage. By acknowledging suffering, we take the first step toward transforming it. The second noble truth explores the cause of suffering, often referred to as craving or attachment. This craving manifests in many forms: the desire for material possessions, the longing for approval or recognition, or even the need to control outcomes. When we cling too tightly to these desires, we create tension within ourselves. For example, imagine working on a creative project while obsessing over perfection or worrying about how others will judge your work. This attachment to specific results stifles joy and spontaneity, making the process feel burdensome rather than fulfilling. Understanding the root of suffering empowers us to let go of unnecessary attachments and embrace a more fluid, open-minded approach to life. The third noble truth offers hope. There is a way to end suffering. This liberation, known as nirvana, isn't about escaping the world or achieving some distant state of bliss. Instead, it's about finding freedom in the present moment by releasing the grip of craving and aversion. In the context of creativity, this means letting go of rigid expectations and allowing yourself to experiment without fear of failure. It's about trusting the process and recognizing that every step, whether it leads to success or failure, is valuable in its own right. When you release the pressure to get it right, you create space for genuine inspiration to emerge. Finally, the fourth noble truth outlines the path to ending suffering, the Eightfold Path. This path consists of 8 interconnected practices that guide us toward ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. While we won't explore all 8 components in detail here, I'd like to highlight a few that are particularly relevant to creativity and mindfulness. Right view encourages us to see the world as it truly is, free from distortion or bias. This perspective allows us to approach challenges with clarity and openness, seeing opportunities where others might see obstacles. Right intention involves cultivating thoughts of kindness, compassion, and renunciation, qualities that soften the ego and foster collaboration. And right effort reminds us to focus our energy on wholesome activities, such as nurturing positive habits and letting go of unhelpful patterns. Another key concept in Buddhism is impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is transient. Our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and circumstances are constantly changing. While this impermanence can sometimes feel unsettling, it's also a source of immense freedom. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we become less attached to specific outcomes and more willing to embrace change. In the realm of creativity, this mindset encourages experimentation and adaptability. Instead of fixating on one idea or method, we remain open to new possibilities, knowing that each iteration brings us closer to something meaningful. Impermanence teaches us to cherish the present moment, infusing our creative endeavors with a sense of urgency and gratitude. Compassion, or karuna, is another cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Compassion extends beyond empathy. It's an active commitment to relieving suffering, both in ourselves and in others. When applied to creativity, compassion transforms the way we engage with our work and the people around us. For instance, self-compassion helps quiet the inner critic that so often sabotages our efforts. Instead of berating ourselves for mistakes or shortcomings, we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, creating a safe space for exploration and growth. Similarly, compassion for others fosters collaboration and connection, reminding us that creativity is rarely a solitary endeavor. By approaching our interactions with generosity and goodwill, we build communities that support and inspire one another. Mindfulness, or sati, is perhaps the most widely recognized aspect of Buddhism today, and for good reason. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with curiosity and non-judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise without getting caught up in them. This awareness serves as a foundation for creativity because it clears away the mental clutter that so often blocks inspiration. When we're fully present, we notice details that might otherwise go overlooked, a fleeting emotion, a subtle sound, or a spark of insight. These observations become the raw materials for creative expression, fueling our imagination in unexpected ways. One of the beautiful things about mindfulness is that it's accessible to everyone regardless of background or experience. You don't need special equipment or training to practice it. All you need is a willingness to pay attention. Even simple activities like washing dishes, walking in nature, or sipping tea can become opportunities for mindfulness if approached with intention. As you cultivate this habit of presence, you'll find that your mind becomes calmer and more focused, creating fertile ground for creativity to flourish. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of interdependence, or pratitya samutpada. This teaching reminds us that nothing exists in isolation. All phenomena arise in dependence upon causes and conditions. In practical terms, this means recognizing how deeply connected we are to the world around us. Our actions ripple outward, influencing others in ways we may never fully understand. This awareness inspires a sense of responsibility and care, not just for ourselves, but for the broader community. When we approach creativity through the lens of interdependence, we begin to see our work as part of a larger tapestry, contributing to the collective well-being. Another fascinating aspect of Buddhism is the concept of non-self, or anatta non-self, challenges the notion of a fixed, independent identity. Instead, it suggests that what we call self is actually a collection of ever-changing physical and mental processes. While this idea might seem abstract at first, it has profound implications for creativity. When we let go of rigid notions of who we are or what we're capable of, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We stop defining ourselves by past failures or limiting beliefs, and instead embrace the fluidity of our potential. Non-self invites us to approach life with a beginner's mind, full of curiosity and wonder. In addition to these core teachings, Buddhism offers numerous practices designed to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Meditation, for example, is a powerful tool for training the mind and deepening our understanding of these principles. Through meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. This detachment allows us to respond to situations with greater clarity and equanimity rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, meditation strengthens our ability to stay present, even in challenging circumstances, enhancing both our creative capacity and our overall well-being. Ethical living is another essential aspect of Buddhist practice. The 5 precepts, guidelines for moral conduct, encourage us to refrain from harming living beings, stealing, lying, engaging in harmful sexual behavior, and consuming intoxicants. While these precepts might seem straightforward, they reflect a deeper commitment to living harmoniously with ourselves and the world. Ethical behavior creates a stable foundation for personal growth, freeing us from guilt or regret, and enabling us to channel our energy into constructive pursuits. When we act with integrity, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, fostering conditions that support creativity and fulfillment. Ultimately, the teachings of Buddhism remind us that true happiness comes from within. External achievements, possessions, or accolades may bring temporary satisfaction, but lasting contentment arises when we cultivate inner peace and wisdom. By embracing impermanence, practicing mindfulness, and nurturing compassion, we create a life rich with meaning and purpose. And when we approach creativity from this place of authenticity, we tap into a boundless reservoir of inspiration, one that flows freely and effortlessly, enriching not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. Chapter 3: Understanding Mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice that has gained widespread recognition in recent years, and for good reason. It's a simple yet profound way of engaging with the world, one that can transform how we think, feel, and create. At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment with curiosity, openness, and non-judgment. It's not about achieving some elusive state of enlightenment or clearing your mind completely. Rather, it's about cultivating awareness of what's happening right here, right now. And when we bring this awareness into our daily lives, we unlock new levels of clarity, creativity, and well-being. To truly understand mindfulness, it's helpful to start by exploring what it isn't. Mindfulness isn't about forcing yourself to be happy, productive, or perfect. It's not about suppressing difficult emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Instead, mindfulness invites us to meet life exactly as it is, with all its beauty, challenges, and contradictions. This radical acceptance creates a foundation for growth, allowing us to navigate obstacles with greater resilience and grace. When we stop resisting reality and start embracing it, we open ourselves up to infinite possibilities, including those that fuel our creativity. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is its accessibility. You don't need any special equipment, training, or credentials to practice it. All you need is a willingness to show up, to notice what's happening inside and around you without judgment. For example, consider something as ordinary as drinking a cup of tea. Most of the time, we might sip our tea while scrolling through our phones, thinking about the day ahead, or replaying past conversations in our heads. But mindfulness invites us to slow down and savor the experience fully. Feel the warmth of the mug in your hands, notice the aroma rising from the steam, taste the subtle flavors as they unfold on your tongue. By bringing our full attention to this simple act, we discover depths of richness and connection that often go unnoticed. This same principle applies to every aspect of life. Whether you're washing dishes, walking in nature, or brainstorming ideas for a project, mindfulness transforms routine activities into opportunities for presence and insight. When we engage deeply with the task at hand, we cultivate a sense of flow, a state where time seems to dissolve and we become fully immersed in the moment. Flow is closely linked to creativity because it allows us to bypass the analytical mind and tap into our intuitive wisdom. Instead of overthinking or second-guessing ourselves, we trust the process and let inspiration guide us. But mindfulness isn't just about enhancing individual experiences. it also changes the way we relate to ourselves and others. One of the key challenges many people face is the tendency to judge themselves harshly. We criticize our mistakes, dwell on perceived shortcomings, and compare ourselves unfavorably to others. These patterns of self-judgment create barriers to creativity, making us hesitant to take risks or share our work with the world. Mindfulness helps break this cycle by teaching us to observe our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," we learn to say, "Right now I'm feeling discouraged, and that's okay." This shift in perspective creates space for self-compassion, which is essential for sustaining creative energy over the long term. Self-compassion is particularly important when we encounter setbacks or face criticism. Creativity inherently involves vulnerability, as it requires us to put pieces of ourselves out into the world. Whether you're writing a story, designing a product, or presenting an idea at work, there's always a risk that others won't respond positively. Mindfulness equips us to handle these moments with greater ease by reminding us that rejection or feedback isn't a reflection of our worth. It's simply part of the creative process, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. When we approach challenges with this mindset, we build emotional resilience, enabling us to keep moving forward even when things get tough. Another benefit of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress and anxiety, two common obstacles to creativity. Stress activates the body's fight or flight response, flooding our systems with cortisol and adrenaline. While this reaction was useful for our ancestors facing physical threats, it's less helpful in modern contexts where the dangers are more psychological than literal. Chronic stress narrows our focus, making it harder to think flexibly or generate novel ideas. Mindfulness counteracts this effect by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and calm. Through practices like deep breathing, body scans, or mindful meditation, we signal to our bodies that we're safe, allowing our minds to expand and explore. Let's take a closer look at how mindfulness works on a neurological level. Research shows that regular mindfulness practice strengthens areas of the brain associated with attention, emotional regulation, and empathy. For instance, studies using fMRI scans have found that mindfulness increases grey matter density in the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making and problem-solving. It also enhances connectivity between different regions of the brain, fostering integration and coherence. These changes not only improve cognitive function but also enhance our capacity for creative thinking. When our brains are operating more efficiently, we're better able to make connections between seemingly unrelated concepts, leading to innovative solutions and fresh perspectives. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in managing distractions, one of the biggest challenges in today's hyper-connected world. With smartphones buzzing, emails piling up, and endless streams of information competing for our attention, it's easy to feel scattered and overwhelmed. This constant multitasking fragments our focus, leaving little room for sustained concentration or deep thought. Mindfulness offers a remedy by training us to anchor our attention in the present moment. Techniques like focusing on the breath, observing sensations in the body, or tuning into ambient sounds help ground us, pulling our awareness away from external noise and back to the task at hand. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to concentrate, improving both productivity and creativity. In addition to sharpening focus, mindfulness fosters a sense of spaciousness in the mind. When we're constantly rushing from one activity to the next, our mental bandwidth becomes clogged with unfinished tasks, unresolved worries, and vague intentions. This clutter stifles creativity, leaving no room for spontaneous insights or imaginative leaps. Mindfulness clears away this mental debris, creating a sense of openness and possibility. Imagine sitting quietly in a park, watching leaves flutter to the ground, or listening to birdsong. In moments like these, the mind naturally begins to wander, free from the constraints of structured thinking. These periods of unstructured reflection are often when breakthrough ideas emerge seemingly out of nowhere. Another fascinating aspect of mindfulness is its impact on relationships. When we're fully present with someone, whether it's a colleague, friend, or family member, we communicate more effectively and build deeper connections. This quality of presence is especially valuable in collaborative settings where creativity thrives on shared energy and mutual understanding. By listening attentively, responding empathetically, and staying attuned to nonverbal cues, we create an environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. This sense of safety and support encourages people to contribute their unique perspectives, sparking collective creativity that transcends individual efforts. Mindfulness also teaches us to embrace imperfection, not just in ourselves but in the world around us. Perfectionism is a common barrier to creativity as it leads us to fixate on details, avoid risks, and delay completion until everything feels just right. But perfection is an illusion. Life is messy, unpredictable, and beautifully imperfect. Mindfulness reminds us to appreciate the process rather than obsessing over the outcome. Whether you're sketching a rough draft, prototyping a new invention, or rehearsing a performance, each step brings you closer to something meaningful, even if it doesn't look polished yet. By celebrating progress instead of striving for flawlessness, you maintain momentum and enthusiasm throughout the creative journey. Finally, mindfulness cultivates gratitude, a powerful antidote to dissatisfaction and discontent. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, helping us recognize the countless blessings already present in our lives. This shift in perspective fuels creativity by inspiring us to express appreciation through our work. Whether it's a painting that captures the beauty of a sunrise, a song that conveys joy and resilience, or a business idea that solves a real-world problem, gratitude infuses our creations with authenticity and purpose. When we create from a place of abundance, our work resonates more deeply with others, touching hearts and sparking change. As you continue exploring mindfulness, remember that it's a lifelong practice, not a destination. There will be days when your mind feels calm and clear, and other days when it feels restless and scattered. That's perfectly normal. The goal isn't to achieve some ideal state of peace or productivity. It's to show up consistently, bringing awareness and compassion to whatever arises. Over time, mindfulness becomes less of a deliberate effort and more of a natural way of being, a lens through which you view the world, rich with detail, nuance, and possibility. So, as we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how mindfulness might enrich your own life and creative pursuits. What small steps could you take today to bring more presence and awareness into your routine? Perhaps it's setting aside 5 minutes to meditate, savoring your morning coffee without distractions, or simply pausing to notice the colors of the sky. Whatever form it takes, know that every moment of mindfulness is a gift, not just to yourself but to the world around you. By nurturing this practice, you'll find that creativity flows more freely, relationships deepen, and life itself becomes a source of endless wonder. Chapter 4. Meditation. Techniques for beginners. Meditation is often misunderstood as something reserved for monks, spiritual gurus, or people who have hours to sit in silence. But the truth is, meditation is a practice that anyone can learn and benefit from, regardless of their background, experience, or schedule. It's not about achieving some mystical state of enlightenment. It's about training your mind to be more present, focused, and calm. When practiced regularly, meditation becomes a powerful tool for reducing stress, enhancing creativity, and fostering overall well-being. In this chapter, we'll explore various meditation techniques specifically designed for beginners, breaking them down into simple, accessible steps that you can start incorporating into your life today. Let's begin with one of the most foundational forms of meditation, mindfulness meditation. At its core, mindfulness meditation involves focusing your attention on the present moment, typically by anchoring it to your breath. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your back straight but relaxed, and close your eyes if that feels right for you. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling gently through your mouth. Then, allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. As you settle into this practice, bring your awareness to the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your body. Notice the cool air entering your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, or the subtle expansion and contraction of your abdomen. Of course, your mind will wander, and that's completely normal. Thoughts, emotions, and distractions are part of the process. Instead of getting frustrated or judging yourself, simply acknowledge whatever arises without attachment. Gently guide your attention back to your breath over and over again. This act of returning to the present moment is the essence of meditation. Over time, you'll notice that your ability to focus improves, and the spaces between distractions become longer and more peaceful. Mindfulness meditation lays the groundwork for cultivating greater awareness, which in turn enhances your capacity for creative thinking. Another beginner-friendly technique is body scan meditation, which invites you to tune into physical sensations throughout your body. Start by lying down on your back in a comfortable position, with your arms resting at your sides and your legs slightly apart. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Then, beginning at the top of your head, mentally scan down through each part of your body, noticing any areas of tension, discomfort, or relaxation. You might feel tightness in your shoulders, warmth in your hands, or heaviness in your legs. The goal isn't to change anything, it's simply to observe what's there with curiosity and kindness. If you encounter an area of tension, imagine sending your breath to that spot, allowing it to soften and release. Body scan meditation is particularly effective for grounding yourself in the present moment, calming the nervous system, and preparing your mind for creative work. Guided visualization is another powerful form of meditation that can spark imagination and inspiration. Unlike mindfulness or body scan practices, guided visualization involves using your imagination to create vivid mental images that evoke specific feelings or intentions. To try this technique, find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to relax. Then picture a scene that brings you peace or joy, perhaps a serene beach at sunset, a lush forest bathed in golden light, or a cozy cabin surrounded by snow-capped mountains. Engage all your senses as you immerse yourself in this image. What do you see? What sounds can you hear? Can you smell the salty ocean breeze or feel the warmth of the sun on your skin? Allow yourself to linger in this imagined environment, letting its tranquility wash over you. Guided visualization not only reduces stress but also activates the brain's creative centers, making it an excellent prelude to artistic expression or problem solving. For those seeking a more active form of meditation, walking meditation offers a wonderful alternative. Walking meditation combines movement with mindfulness, allowing you to cultivate presence while engaging with your surroundings. To practice, choose a quiet path or room where you can walk back and forth without interruption. Stand still for a moment, feeling the soles of your feet connecting with the ground. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself, then begin walking at a slow, deliberate pace. Pay attention to the sensation of each step, the lifting of your foot, the shifting of your weight, the placing of your heel and toes on the ground. Notice how your body moves in harmony with your breath. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to the rhythm of your steps. Walking meditation is especially beneficial for people who find seated practices challenging or who want to integrate mindfulness into their daily routines, such as during a lunch break or commute. Loving-kindness meditation, also known as metta meditation, is another beautiful practice that cultivates compassion for yourself, others, and the world around you. Begin by sitting comfortably, closing your eyes, and taking a few deep breaths to settle into the moment. Silently repeat phrases of goodwill, starting with yourself. May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease. Feel these words resonating in your heart, filling you with warmth and kindness. Once you've spent a few minutes directing loving-kindness inward, expand your focus to include others. Picture someone you care about deeply, a friend, family member, or mentor, and silently wish them the same blessings. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Gradually widen your circle of compassion to include acquaintances, strangers, and even people you may find difficult to connect with. Loving-kindness meditation softens the heart, fosters empathy, and creates a sense of interconnectedness, all qualities that enrich the creative process. Breath counting is a simple yet effective technique for beginners who struggle with maintaining focus during meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to settle in. Then, as you breathe naturally, begin counting each inhalation and exhalation. For example, inhale 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, and so on up to 10. Once you reach 10, start over at 1. If you lose count or get distracted, don't worry. Just gently return to 1 and continue. Breath counting provides a concrete focal point, helping to anchor your attention and prevent your mind from wandering too far. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to concentrate, which is invaluable for sustaining creative flow. Mantra meditation introduces a verbal or mental repetition of a word, phrase, or sound to help steady the mind. A mantra can be anything meaningful to you, a sacred syllable like Om, a positive affirmation such as I am enough, or even a neutral word like peace. To practice, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Then silently repeat your chosen mantra, synchronizing it with your breath if that feels natural. Allow the sound or meaning of the mantra to fill your awareness, replacing distracting thoughts. Mantras serve as anchors, guiding your attention back to the present whenever your mind drifts. They also carry vibrational energy that can influence your mood and mindset, making them particularly useful for setting intentions or invoking inspiration. Progressive muscle relaxation is a technique that combines mindfulness with physical awareness, helping to release tension and promote relaxation. To practice, sit or lie down in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Starting with your toes, tense the muscles in that area as tightly as you can for a few seconds, then release them completely. Move upward through your body, progressively tensing and relaxing each muscle group, your calves, thighs, abdomen, chest, arms, shoulders, neck, and face. As you release each area, pay attention to the sensation of relaxation spreading throughout your body. Progressive muscle relaxation not only alleviates physical stress but also calms the mind, creating optimal conditions for creativity to flourish. Zen meditation, or Zazen, is a traditional Buddhist practice that emphasizes posture, breath, and observation of thoughts. While it may seem intimidating at first, Zazen is actually quite straightforward. Sit cross-legged on a cushion or chair with your spine straight, hands resting gently in your lap, and eyes half closed, gazing softly downward. Focus on your breath, allowing it to flow naturally without trying to control it. Observe your thoughts as they arise, acknowledging them without judgment, and let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Zen meditation encourages a state of non-attachment, teaching you to witness your inner experiences without becoming entangled in them. This detachment fosters clarity and perspective, enabling you to approach challenges with greater insight and innovation. Finally, let's talk about the importance of consistency in meditation practice. Like any skill, meditation requires regular effort to yield meaningful results. You don't need to meditate for hours at a time. In fact, starting with just 5 or 10 minutes a day is perfectly fine. The key is to make it a habit, integrating it into your daily routine in a way that feels sustainable. Choose a time that works best for you, whether it's first thing in the morning, during a midday break, or before bed. Set reminders if needed, and treat your meditation practice as a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. Over time, you'll notice subtle shifts in your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and creative energy. It's also important to approach meditation with patience and self-compassion. There will be days when your mind feels restless, your body uncomfortable, or your motivation lacking, That's okay. Meditation isn't about achieving perfection, it's about showing up again and again with an open heart and a willingness to try. Each session, no matter how short or imperfect, contributes to your growth and transformation. Trust the process, and remember that every moment of mindfulness is a step toward greater peace and possibility. Ultimately, meditation is a journey, a lifelong exploration of your inner landscape. As you experiment with different techniques and discover what resonates most with you, you'll develop a personalized practice that supports your unique needs and goals. Whether you're seeking stress relief, enhanced creativity, or deeper self-awareness, meditation offers tools to help you thrive. By committing to this practice, you're investing in your well-being and unlocking your full potential, not just as a creator, but as a human being. Chapter 5. Cultivating compassion through loving kindness. Meditation. Compassion is one of the most transformative forces in human experience. It has the power to heal wounds, bridge divides, and inspire acts of extraordinary kindness. Yet, compassion isn't just something we extend outward. It begins within ourselves. When we cultivate compassion, we create a foundation for creativity, well-being, and meaningful connection. In this chapter, we'll explore how loving kindness meditation, or metta meditation, can help you nurture compassion for yourself and others, enriching your life in profound ways. Loving kindness meditation is rooted in Buddhist teachings, but its benefits are universal. At its heart, it's about generating feelings of goodwill, warmth, and care, not only toward those we love, but also toward strangers, difficult people, and even ourselves. This practice invites us to soften our hearts, dissolve barriers of judgment, and recognize the shared humanity that binds us all. By regularly engaging in loving kindness meditation, we rewire our brains to respond with empathy and kindness, fostering emotional resilience and enhancing our capacity for creative expression. To begin understanding loving kindness meditation, let's first define what compassion truly means. Compassion goes beyond sympathy or pity. It's an active desire to alleviate suffering, coupled with the willingness to take action when possible. While empathy allows us to feel what another person is experiencing, compassion takes it a step further by motivating us to help. For example, imagine seeing someone struggling under the weight of heavy bags. Empathy might make you feel their discomfort, while compassion compels you to offer assistance. This distinction is important because compassion transforms passive awareness into proactive care, creating ripples of positive impact in the world. Self-compassion is often the starting point for cultivating compassion more broadly. Many of us are quick to criticize ourselves for mistakes, shortcomings, or perceived failures. We hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that self-criticism will somehow motivate us to improve. But research shows that harsh self-judgment actually undermines our confidence, creativity, and overall well-being. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a close friend. It's about acknowledging our struggles without exaggerating them, recognizing that imperfection is part of being human, and offering ourselves comfort during difficult times. Loving kindness meditation provides a structured way to develop self-compassion. To practice, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to settle into the moment, allowing your body to relax and your mind to quiet. Then silently repeat phrases of goodwill directed at yourself. You might say, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease." Feel these words resonating in your heart, filling you with warmth and kindness. If resistance arises, perhaps you doubt whether you deserve such blessings, acknowledge those thoughts without judgment and continue repeating the phrases. Over time, this practice helps you internalize a sense of worthiness and belonging, creating a solid foundation for extending compassion to others. Once you've spent a few minutes directing loving kindness inward, expand your focus to include others. Begin with someone you deeply care about, a family member, friend, mentor, or anyone who brings you joy. Picture this person vividly in your mind, recalling their smile, voice, or presence. Silently wish them the same blessings. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Allow yourself to feel genuine warmth and affection as you send these intentions. Notice how focusing on someone you love naturally evokes feelings of connection and gratitude, reinforcing the bond between you. Next, widen your circle of compassion to include acquaintances, people you know but don't have a particularly close relationship with. This could be a co-worker, neighbor, or cashier at your local grocery store. Even though your interactions may be brief or superficial, they're still human beings deserving of care and respect. Picture one of these individuals and silently wish them happiness, health, and ease. This step challenges us to transcend indifference and recognize the inherent value of every person, regardless of how much they intersect with our lives. By doing so, we cultivate a broader sense of empathy and interconnectedness. The next layer of loving-kindness meditation involves extending compassion to difficult people, those who challenge us, frustrate us, or hurt us. This aspect of the practice can be particularly challenging as it requires us to confront feelings of anger, resentment, or fear. However, it's also where the deepest transformation occurs. Think of someone with whom you've had conflict or tension. Instead of dwelling on their faults, try to see them as a fellow human being navigating their own struggles and insecurities. Silently wish them happiness, health, and ease, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Remember, this doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior or excusing injustice. Rather, it's about releasing the burden of hatred and choosing a path of peace. With practice, this shift in perspective can dissolve animosity and open the door to reconciliation, or at least inner freedom. Finally, expand your loving-kindness meditation to encompass all beings everywhere. Visualize the entire planet, teeming with life in countless forms, humans, animals, plants, ecosystems. Silently repeat your phrases of goodwill, directing them outward to every living thing. May all beings be happy, may all beings be healthy, may all beings live with ease. This universal extension of compassion reminds us of our interdependence and the profound responsibility we share as stewards of this earth. It fosters a sense of global citizenship, inspiring us to act in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but the collective whole. The benefits of loving-kindness meditation extend far beyond the moments spent practicing. Scientific studies have shown that regular engagement with this technique increases activity in areas of the brain associated with empathy, emotional regulation, and social connection. It reduces symptoms of anxiety, depression, and stress, promoting greater psychological resilience. Moreover, it enhances our ability to collaborate effectively, resolve conflicts peacefully, and build supportive communities, all qualities that fuel creativity and innovation. When we approach life with an open heart, we become more receptive to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. Creativity, after all, thrives in environments of trust and mutual support. When we cultivate compassion through loving-kindness meditation, we create conditions that encourage risk-taking and experimentation. Imagine working on a team project where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Ideas flow freely, feedback is constructive, and collaboration becomes a source of inspiration rather than tension. Similarly, when we treat ourselves with compassion, we silence the inner critic that so often stifles our creative voice. We give ourselves permission to explore uncharted territory, knowing that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but an inevitable part of growth. Another powerful aspect of loving-kindness meditation is its ability to foster forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or grievances weighs heavily on our hearts, draining our energy and clouding our clarity. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing harm, it means releasing the grip of bitterness and choosing to move forward with grace. Loving-kindness meditation helps us release these burdens by softening our hearts and reminding us of our shared humanity. As we forgive others and ourselves, we free up mental and emotional space for creativity to flourish. In addition to its psychological benefits, loving-kindness meditation also strengthens our physical health. Chronic stress triggers inflammation, weakens the immune system, and accelerates aging. By promoting relaxation and reducing stress, Loving-kindness meditation supports overall wellness, enabling us to show up fully in our personal and professional lives. When we feel physically vibrant and emotionally balanced, we're better equipped to tackle challenges, pursue passions, and contribute meaningfully to the world around us. One of the beautiful things about loving-kindness meditation is its adaptability. You can tailor the practice to suit your needs and circumstances. If you're short on time, spend just a minute or two sending goodwill to yourself and others. If you prefer movement, incorporate gentle yoga poses or mindful walking into your session. Experiment with different phrases, tones, or visualizations until you find what resonates most deeply with you. The key is consistency, not perfection. Even small doses of loving-kindness meditation practiced regularly can yield significant results over time. It's also worth noting that compassion isn't a finite resource. Unlike money or material possessions, which diminish when shared, compassion multiplies the more we give it away. Each act of kindness creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to pay it forward and amplifying positive change. Loving-kindness meditation taps into this infinite potential, reminding us that our actions, no matter how small, have the power to shape the world in meaningful ways. When we approach life with an attitude of generosity and care, we align ourselves with the natural flow of abundance and possibility. Ultimately, loving-kindness meditation teaches us that compassion is both a gift and a practice. It's a gift because it connects us to something greater than ourselves, the shared longing for happiness, peace, and fulfillment. And it's a practice because it requires effort, patience, and commitment. There will be days when sending goodwill feels effortless, and other days when it feels forced or insincere. That's okay. The goal isn't to achieve some ideal state of constant compassion, it's to keep showing up again and again with an open heart and a willingness to try. Over time, this practice transforms not just how we relate to others, but how we relate to ourselves, and ultimately, how we engage with the world. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how loving-kindness meditation might enrich your own life and creative pursuits. What steps could you take today to nurture compassion for yourself, for others, and for the world around you? Perhaps it's setting aside 5 minutes to practice loving-kindness meditation, offering a kind word to someone in need, or simply pausing to appreciate the beauty of existence. Whatever form it takes, know that each act of compassion is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness, destined to bloom in unexpected and wondrous ways. Chapter 6. Overcoming creative blocks. Creative blocks are one of the most frustrating and universal challenges faced by anyone who engages in creative work. Whether you're a writer staring at a blank page, an artist struggling to pick up your brush, or someone trying to solve a complex problem at work, these moments of stagnation can feel insurmountable. But here's the truth. Creative blocks are not permanent roadblocks, they're temporary obstacles that arise when our minds, emotions, or circumstances get in the way. In this chapter, we'll explore the root causes of creative blocks, how mindfulness and meditation can help you move through them, and practical strategies for reigniting your creative spark. To understand creative blocks, it's important to recognize that they stem from a variety of sources. One common cause is self-doubt, the nagging voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. This inner critic thrives on perfectionism, convincing us that anything less than flawless execution is unworthy of effort. When we listen to this voice, we become paralyzed by fear of failure or judgment, making it nearly impossible to take risks or experiment freely. Self-doubt creates a mental barrier that stifles creativity, leaving us stuck in a cycle of procrastination and frustration. Another frequent culprit behind creative blocks is burnout. In today's fast-paced world, many of us juggle multiple responsibilities, constantly pushing ourselves to meet deadlines, exceed expectations, and keep up with endless demands. While hard work is admirable, overworking without adequate rest leads to exhaustion and depletion. When our energy reserves run low, so does our ability to think clearly, generate new ideas, or sustain focus. Burnout robs us of the vitality and enthusiasm needed for creative exploration, leaving us feeling drained and uninspired. External pressures also play a significant role in creative blocks. The need for validation, whether from peers, supervisors, or audiences, can weigh heavily on our minds. We might worry about how others will perceive our work, obsess over comparisons with others, or feel overwhelmed by the pressure to succeed. These external expectations create tension, pulling us out of the present moment and into a future filled with hypothetical outcomes. Instead of enjoying the process of creation, we become fixated on results, which only adds to the stress and anxiety fueling the block. Mindfulness offers a powerful antidote to these internal and external forces by bringing awareness to the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that accompany creative blocks. We gain insight into their origins and learn to navigate them with greater ease. For instance, when self-doubt arises, mindfulness teaches us to observe it without identifying with it. Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," we reframe it as, "Right now I'm feeling unsure, and that's okay." This subtle shift in language creates distance between ourselves and our thoughts, reducing their power over us. It reminds us that feelings of inadequacy are fleeting and do not define our worth or potential. Meditation complements mindfulness by providing tools to calm the mind and restore clarity. When we sit quietly and focus on our breath, we interrupt the stream of anxious thoughts that often contribute to creative blocks. This pause allows us to reset, giving our brains a chance to recharge and refocus. Regular meditation practice strengthens neural pathways associated with attention and emotional regulation, making it easier to stay grounded during challenging moments. Over time, meditation builds resilience, enabling us to face obstacles with greater confidence and adaptability. One effective technique for overcoming creative blocks is the body scan meditation we discussed earlier. Stress and tension often manifest physically, showing up as tightness in the shoulders, headaches, or fatigue. By systematically scanning your body for areas of discomfort and consciously releasing them, you create a sense of relaxation that extends beyond the physical realm. A relaxed body supports a relaxed mind, creating optimal conditions for creativity to flow. Try incorporating a brief body scan before starting a creative session. It can help clear away distractions and center your attention. Another strategy is to embrace imperfection as part of the creative process. Perfectionism is a major barrier to creativity because it sets unrealistic standards and discourages experimentation. When we aim for perfection, we become overly critical of our work, scrutinizing every detail and second-guessing our choices. This mindset stifles spontaneity and prevents us from exploring uncharted territory. Mindfulness encourages us to let go of perfectionist tendencies by reminding us that creativity is inherently messy. It's about trial and error, iteration and growth. Each draft, sketch or prototype brings you closer to something meaningful, even if it doesn't look polished yet. Celebrate progress rather than striving for flawlessness, and watch how your creativity expands. Sometimes the best way to overcome a creative block is to step away entirely. Pushing through resistance rarely yields satisfying results. Instead, it often leads to frustration and further stagnation. Taking a break gives your subconscious mind time to process information and make connections that your conscious mind might overlook. Go for a walk, meditate, journal, or engage in a completely unrelated activity. Often inspiration strikes when we least expect it, while showering, cooking, or lying in bed just before sleep. Trust that stepping back isn't giving up. It's giving yourself permission to breathe and return with fresh eyes. Journaling is another powerful tool for breaking through creative blocks. Writing down your thoughts, fears, and aspirations helps externalize what's happening internally, providing clarity and perspective. If you're stuck on a project, try free writing. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write continuously without stopping or editing. Allow your thoughts to flow freely no matter how disjointed or nonsensical they may seem. You might be surprised by the insights that emerge. Journaling also serves as a safe space to vent frustrations, brainstorm ideas, or document small victories along the way. It's a reminder that creativity is a journey, not a destination. Collaboration can also unlock new avenues of inspiration. When we feel blocked, it's easy to isolate ourselves, believing that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But collaboration fosters creativity by introducing diverse perspectives and skill sets. Reach out to a friend, colleague, or mentor whose opinion you trust and share your struggles. They might offer feedback, suggest resources, or simply provide encouragement. Even casual conversations can spark unexpected ideas or solutions. Remember, creativity thrives in community. Don't hesitate to lean on others when you need support. Another approach is to change your environment. Our surroundings have a profound impact on our mood and productivity. If you've been working in the same space for too long, it's natural to feel stagnant or uninspired. Rearrange your workspace, visit a cafe, spend time outdoors, or travel to a new location if possible. A change of scenery stimulates the senses and shifts your perspective, making it easier to see things differently. Nature, in particular, has a restorative effect on the mind and body, reducing stress and enhancing cognitive function. Spend time in green spaces whenever you can. It's like hitting the reset button for your creativity. Limiting beliefs are another common obstacle to creativity. These deeply ingrained assumptions about ourselves and the world around us shape how we perceive opportunities and challenges. For example, you might believe that creativity is a fixed trait, you either have it or you don't, or that certain types of creative expression are reserved for real artists. These beliefs create artificial boundaries, restricting your willingness to explore new possibilities. Mindfulness helps identify and challenge limiting beliefs by encouraging curiosity and openness. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it serving me? What would happen if I let it go? Replacing old narratives with empowering ones expands your creative horizons. Playfulness is essential for overcoming creative blocks. As children, we naturally approach life with curiosity and joy, unburdened by expectations or self-consciousness. Somewhere along the way, many of us lose touch with this playful spirit, replacing it with seriousness and caution. To reignite your creativity, reconnect with activities that bring you pure delight. Doodling, dancing, singing, building sandcastles, or anything else that makes you smile. Play lowers inhibitions, encourages risk-taking, and invites serendipity into your work. It reminds you that creativity is not just about achieving goals, but about experiencing joy and wonder. Gratitude is another transformative practice for breaking through creative blocks. When we focus on what's lacking, time, resources, inspiration, we reinforce feelings of scarcity and limitation. Gratitude shifts our attention to abundance, helping us recognize the countless blessings already present in our lives. Take a few moments each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a supportive friend, or the opportunity to pursue your passions. Expressing gratitude opens your heart, fostering a sense of connection and possibility. When you create from a place of abundance, your work resonates more deeply with others, touching hearts and sparking change. Finally, remember that creative blocks are a natural part of the creative process. They're not signs of failure or inadequacy. They're invitations to slow down, reflect, and recalibrate. Every artist, writer, musician, and innovator experiences periods of doubt and uncertainty. What sets successful creators apart is their ability to persevere despite these challenges. Cultivate patience and trust in yourself. Know that even the smallest steps forward count as progress. And above all, treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Creativity flourishes in environments of safety and support, so be gentle with yourself as you navigate the ups and downs of the journey. As we wrap up this chapter, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with creative blocks. What patterns or triggers tend to derail your momentum? How might mindfulness, meditation, and the strategies we've discussed help you overcome these obstacles? Perhaps it's setting aside dedicated time for self-care, experimenting with new techniques, or simply reminding yourself that blocks are temporary. Whatever approach you choose, know that you have everything you need within you to move forward. Creativity is your birthright, a boundless wellspring of inspiration waiting to be tapped. Trust the process, honor your pace, and keep showing up, one mindful step at a time. Chapter 7. Embracing Imperfection. Imperfection is a concept that often carries a negative connotation in our modern world, where perfectionism and polished outcomes are celebrated as ideals. From curated social media feeds to flawless magazine covers, we're bombarded with images of people, places, and things that seem perfect, leaving many of us feeling inadequate or dissatisfied with our own lives. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we embraced imperfection not as a flaw, but as a source of beauty, authenticity, and creative potential? In this chapter, we'll explore how embracing imperfection can transform your mindset, enhance your creativity, and deepen your connection to the present moment. To understand the value of imperfection, let's first examine why perfectionism is so pervasive and so damaging. Perfectionism stems from the belief that anything less than flawless execution is unacceptable. It drives us to obsess over details, fear failure, and avoid taking risks. While striving for excellence can be motivating, perfectionism takes it to an extreme, creating unrealistic standards that are impossible to meet. This relentless pursuit of perfection leaves little room for experimentation, play, or growth. Instead of enjoying the process of creation, we become fixated on results, which only amplifies stress and anxiety. The irony is that perfectionism doesn't lead to better outcomes, it stifles creativity and undermines our confidence. In contrast, imperfection invites us to see the inherent beauty in flaws and irregularities. One of the most famous examples of this philosophy comes from Japanese aesthetics, particularly the concept of wabi-sabi celebrates the imperfect, transient, and the incomplete. It finds beauty in asymmetry, rough textures, and natural wear and tear. Think of a handmade ceramic bowl with uneven edges or a weathered wooden table bearing the marks of time. These objects aren't considered defective, they're cherished for their uniqueness and character. By adopting a similar mindset, we can learn to appreciate the imperfections in ourselves, our work, and the world around us. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in helping us embrace imperfection. When we practice mindfulness, we train ourselves to observe reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This includes noticing the quirks, blemishes, and inconsistencies that make life rich and varied. For instance, imagine walking through a garden. Instead of focusing solely on the perfectly bloomed roses, take a moment to admire the wilting petals, the crooked branches, and the scattered leaves. Each element contributes to the garden's overall charm, reminding us that beauty exists in all stages of life. Similarly, when we apply mindfulness to our creative endeavors, we begin to see imperfections not as mistakes, but as opportunities for discovery and innovation. Creativity thrives in environments of openness and curiosity, and imperfection creates fertile ground for both. When we let go of the need to control every aspect of our work, we allow spontaneity and intuition to guide us. Consider the process of painting. If you aim for a precise replica of a photograph, you might achieve technical accuracy, but at the cost of emotional depth and personal expression. On the other hand, if you embrace loose brushstrokes, unexpected color combinations, and unplanned drips, you create something uniquely yours. These imperfections become the soul of the piece, conveying emotions and stories that resonate deeply with viewers. The same principle applies to any form of creativity, whether it's writing, cooking, designing, or problem solving. Another way imperfection enhances creativity is by encouraging iteration and adaptation. Many great works of art, literature, and innovation began as rough drafts, prototypes, or experiments. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His willingness to embrace imperfection allowed him to persist through countless trials until he achieved success. Similarly, writers revise manuscripts dozens of times before publication. Chefs tweak recipes until they strike the right balance, and entrepreneurs pivot their business models based on feedback. Each iteration brings you closer to something meaningful, even if it doesn't look polished yet. Celebrate progress rather than striving for perfection, and watch how your creativity expands. Imperfection also fosters resilience, a quality essential for navigating challenges and setbacks. Life is inherently unpredictable, full of twists and turns that defy our best-laid plans. When we cling to perfectionist ideals, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. But when we embrace imperfection, we develop a more flexible and adaptive mindset. We learn to roll with the punches, finding creative solutions to problems and adapting to changing circumstances. This resilience not only helps us overcome obstacles, but also fuels our ability to innovate. After all, some of the most groundbreaking ideas arise from constraints and limitations, forcing us to think outside the box and come up with unconventional approaches. One practical way to cultivate an appreciation for imperfection is through mindful observation. Take a few moments each day to notice the small, imperfect details in your surroundings. It could be the crack in a sidewalk, the fading paint on a wall, or the uneven stitches in a handmade garment. Instead of dismissing these imperfections as flaws, consider the stories they tell. That crack in the sidewalk might have been caused by tree roots pushing upward, symbolizing nature's resilience. The fading paint might reveal layers of history, hinting at the passage of time. The uneven stitches might reflect the care and effort of someone who made the garment by hand. By reframing imperfections in this way, we shift our focus from judgment to appreciation. Another powerful practice is self-compassion. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you fall short of your expectations. Self-compassion reminds us that imperfection is part of being human. Everyone makes mistakes, experiences setbacks, and struggles with self-doubt. Instead of berating yourself for perceived failures, offer yourself the same compassion you would extend to a friend. Silently repeat phrases like, "I am doing my best. This is part of the learning process," or "I am enough as I am." Over time, this practice softens the harshness of self-criticism, creating a safe space for creativity to flourish. Loving-kindness meditation, which we discussed earlier, is another tool for embracing imperfection. By sending goodwill to yourself and others, you cultivate a sense of interconnectedness and shared humanity. Recognizing that everyone struggles with imperfections, including those you admire, helps dissolve feelings of isolation and inadequacy. Loving-kindness meditation also teaches us to approach life with warmth and generosity, qualities that naturally enhance creativity. When we treat ourselves and others with kindness, we build supportive communities where collaboration and innovation thrive. Collaboration is particularly important when it comes to embracing imperfection. Working with others allows us to combine diverse perspectives, skills, and strengths, leading to richer and more dynamic outcomes. In group settings, imperfections become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. For example, brainstorming sessions often produce wild, unpolished ideas that spark further discussion and refinement. Prototyping workshops encourage participants to create quick, rough versions of products, knowing that they'll evolve through feedback and iteration. By valuing contribution over perfection, collaborative environments nurture creativity and foster a culture of continuous improvement. Nature provides endless inspiration for embracing imperfection. Look closely at the patterns in a leaf, the ripples in a stream, or the clouds drifting across the sky. None of these elements conform to rigid, geometric shapes or symmetrical designs, yet they exude a profound sense of harmony and balance. Nature reminds us that imperfection is not only acceptable, but integral to the fabric of existence. By immersing ourselves in natural settings, we reconnect with the rhythms and cycles of life, gaining perspective on our own struggles and triumphs. Spending time outdoors also reduces stress and enhances cognitive function, making it easier to approach challenges with clarity and creativity. Let's not forget the role of humor and light-heartedness in embracing imperfection. Laughter has a unique way of diffusing tension and breaking down barriers. When we laugh at our mistakes or awkward moments, we release the grip of seriousness and invite playfulness into our lives. Humor reminds us that imperfection is universal and often quite funny. Try sharing a story about a recent mishap with a friend or colleague. Chances are they'll relate to your experience and share one of their own. These moments of connection reinforce the idea that imperfection is something we all share, uniting us in our humanity. Art and literature provide countless examples of how imperfection can inspire greatness. Vincent van Gogh's swirling skies, Frida Kahlo's raw self-portraits, and Emily Dickinson's fragmented verses all reflect the artist's willingness to embrace vulnerability and uncertainty. Their works resonate because they capture the messy, complex, and beautiful essence of life. Similarly, contemporary creators continue to push boundaries by challenging traditional notions of perfection. Think of abstract paintings, experimental music, or avant-garde fashion, all of which celebrate individuality and originality over conformity and uniformity. These forms of expression remind us that creativity flourishes when we dare to be different. Finally, embracing imperfection requires trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the universe. Trust that even when things don't go according to plan, there's still value in the journey. Trust that mistakes and missteps are opportunities for growth and learning. And trust that imperfection is not something to hide or fix, but something to honor and celebrate. This trust frees us from the burden of control, allowing us to surrender to the flow of life. When we let go of the need to micromanage every detail, we open ourselves up to serendipity, surprise, and wonder. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how embracing imperfection might enrich your own life and creative pursuits. What steps could you take today to soften your relationship with imperfection? Perhaps it's setting aside time to experiment without worrying about the outcome, practicing self-compassion during difficult moments, or simply pausing to appreciate the imperfect beauty around you. Whatever form it takes, know that embracing imperfection is a gift to yourself and to the world. It's a reminder that true creativity arises not from perfection but from presence, authenticity, and love. Chapter 8: Integrating mindfulness into daily life. Mindfulness isn't something that's meant to be confined to a meditation cushion or a quiet corner of your home. Its true power lies in its ability to permeate every aspect of your daily life, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for presence, connection, and creativity. In this chapter, we'll explore how you can integrate mindfulness into the fabric of your everyday existence, turning routine activities into mindful practices that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. To begin, let's redefine what mindfulness means in the context of daily life. At its essence, mindfulness is about paying attention intentionally and non-judgmentally to the present moment. It's not about achieving some elevated state of consciousness. It's about noticing what's happening right now, whether it's the sensation of warm water running over your hands as you wash dishes, the sound of birds chirping outside your window, or the rhythm of your breath as you climb a flight of stairs. These seemingly mundane experiences are gateways to deeper awareness, offering glimpses of beauty and meaning that often go unnoticed when we're rushing through life on autopilot. The first step in integrating mindfulness into daily life is cultivating an attitude of curiosity. Approach each moment with a sense of wonder, as if you're seeing it for the first time. For example, consider something as simple as brushing your teeth. Most days, you might do this mechanically, barely registering the act. But what happens when you bring your full attention to it? Feel the bristles against your gums, notice the minty freshness spreading through your mouth, and listen to the soft swishing sound of the toothbrush moving back and forth. Suddenly, this routine task becomes a sensory experience, grounding you in the here and now. This shift in perspective transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, infusing your day with moments of mindfulness. Mindful eating is another powerful practice that can revolutionize your relationship with food and with yourself. Many of us eat while multitasking, scrolling through our phones or watching TV, barely tasting what's on our plates. Mindful eating invites you to slow down and savor each bite. Start by taking a moment to appreciate the appearance, aroma, and texture of your meal before digging in. As you eat, chew slowly and deliberately, noticing the flavors unfolding in your mouth. Pay attention to how your body feels as you nourish it. Does hunger subside? Do you feel satisfied or overly full? By bringing awareness to the act of eating, you not only enhance your enjoyment of food, but also develop a healthier, more intuitive approach to nutrition. Mindfulness can also transform the way you interact with others. Communication is one of the most fundamental aspects of human connection, yet it's easy to fall into patterns of distraction or reactivity during conversations. How often have you found yourself nodding along while secretly planning your response, or worse, checking your phone mid-conversation? Mindful listening changes this dynamic by encouraging you to be fully present with the person in front of you. Focus on their words, tone, and body language without interrupting or jumping ahead mentally. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to the speaker. This practice not only deepens your relationships, but also fosters empathy and understanding, qualities that are essential for collaboration and creativity. Movement is another area where mindfulness can make a profound impact. Whether you're walking, stretching, or engaging in physical exercise, bringing awareness to your body enhances both the experience and its benefits. Walking meditation, which we discussed earlier, is a perfect example. Instead of rushing from point A to point B, take a few minutes to walk slowly and deliberately, paying attention to the sensations in your feet, legs, and torso. Notice how your weight shifts with each step, how your arms swing naturally at your sides, and how the air feels against your skin. This practice grounds you in your body, reducing stress and increasing clarity. Similarly, incorporating mindfulness into yoga or other forms of movement helps you tune into subtleties like alignment, breath, and muscle engagement, making your practice more effective and enjoyable. Work is another domain ripe for mindful integration. For many people, work days are filled with constant demands, interruptions, and deadlines, leaving little room for focus or reflection. Mindfulness offers tools to navigate these challenges with greater ease and efficiency. One technique is single tasking, focusing on one activity at a time rather than juggling multiple tasks simultaneously. Research shows that multitasking reduces productivity and increases errors, whereas single tasking improves concentration and quality of work. To implement this, try setting aside blocks of uninterrupted time for specific projects. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and commit to giving your full attention to the task at hand. When distractions arise, acknowledge them without judgment and return to your focal point. Breath awareness is another invaluable tool for staying mindful at work. Your breath is always with you, serving as an anchor to the present moment no matter where you are. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or scattered, take a few deep breaths to reset. Inhale slowly through your nose, allowing your belly to expand, and exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the tension melting away with each cycle of breath. You can even pair this practice with transitions throughout your day, for example, taking 3 deliberate breaths before starting a meeting, answering emails, or switching tasks. Over time, these micro moments of mindfulness accumulate, creating a steady undercurrent of calm and clarity. Household chores, often viewed as tedious necessities, can become acts of mindfulness with the right mindset. Cleaning, cooking, and organizing may not seem glamorous, but they offer ample opportunities to practice presence. Imagine folding laundry with full attention, feeling the fabric between your fingers, smoothing out wrinkles and arranging items neatly. Or picture washing dishes as a meditative ritual, focusing on the warmth of the water, the scent of soap, and the satisfaction of leaving surfaces sparkling clean. These activities, when approached mindfully, cease to be burdensome chores and instead become expressions of care for your living space, for your loved ones, and for yourself. Nature provides an ideal setting for practicing mindfulness, especially if you spend most of your time indoors. Spending time outside reconnects you with the rhythms of the natural world, reminding you of the larger cycles of life beyond your immediate concerns. Go for a walk in a park, sit by a lake, or simply step onto your balcony and gaze at the sky. Engage all your senses. Notice the colors, shapes, and textures around you. Listen to the rustling leaves or distant bird calls. Breathe in the fresh air and feel the sun or breeze on your skin. Nature has a way of putting things into perspective, dissolving worries and fostering gratitude. Even brief encounters with the outdoors can boost mood, reduce stress, and spark creative inspiration. Technology, while indispensable in modern life, can also be a major source of distraction and disconnection. Mindful use of technology involves setting boundaries so that it serves you rather than controls you. Start by auditing your digital habits. How much time do you spend scrolling social media, binge-watching shows, or aimlessly browsing the internet? Identify areas where you'd like to cut back and establish clear guidelines. For instance, designating tech-free times or zones in your home. Use apps or features that limit screen time and prioritize meaningful online interactions over passive consumption. Remember, technology is a tool, not a master. Wield it consciously to support your goals and values. Gratitude is another cornerstone of mindful living. Cultivating gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, helping you recognize the countless blessings already present in your life. Take a few moments each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a cozy bed, a supportive friend, or the opportunity to pursue your passions. Expressing gratitude not only boosts happiness but also strengthens relationships and fosters resilience. Consider keeping a gratitude journal, writing thank you notes, or verbally acknowledging the contributions of others. The more you practice gratitude, the more attuned you become to life's small joys and wonders. Self-care is an essential component of integrating mindfulness into daily life. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being creates a solid foundation for everything else you do. Self-care doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as drinking enough water, getting adequate sleep, or setting aside time for activities that recharge you. Mindfulness enhances self-care by helping you tune into your needs and respond with compassion. For instance, if you're feeling tired, allow yourself to rest without guilt. If you're craving connection, reach out to a loved one. Listen to your body and honor its signals, knowing that self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Lastly, remember that integrating mindfulness into daily life is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you're fully present and engaged, and other days when distractions pull you away. That's okay. The goal isn't to achieve some ideal state of constant mindfulness. It's to keep showing up again and again with an open heart and a willingness to try. Each moment of mindfulness is a gift, not just to yourself, but to the world around you. By nurturing this practice, you create a ripple effect, inspiring others to live more consciously and compassionately. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how mindfulness might enrich your own daily life. What small steps could you take today to bring more presence and awareness into your routine? Perhaps it's pausing to breathe before responding to a challenging email, savoring your morning coffee without distractions, or simply noticing the details of your surroundings. Whatever form it takes, know that every act of mindfulness is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness, destined to bloom in unexpected and wondrous ways. Chapter 9. Finding Joy in Simplicity. Simplicity is a concept that often feels elusive in our modern world, where complexity and excess are celebrated as markers of success. We're surrounded by endless choices, constant distractions, and the relentless pressure to do more, have more, and be more. Yet amidst this chaos, there lies a profound truth. True fulfillment doesn't come from accumulating possessions or chasing external achievements. It comes from embracing simplicity. In this chapter, we'll explore how simplifying your life can lead to greater joy, clarity, and creativity, and how mindfulness and Buddhism offer timeless wisdom for cultivating a simpler, more meaningful existence. At its core, simplicity is about focusing on what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's about stripping away the unnecessary layers of busyness, clutter, and noise to reveal the essence of who you are and what brings you genuine happiness. This process isn't just about decluttering your physical space, though that's certainly part of it. It's also about simplifying your thoughts, relationships, commitments, and even your sense of self. By doing so, you create room for creativity to flourish, for connection to deepen, and for peace to take root. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is the idea of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean renouncing all worldly pleasures or living an ascetic lifestyle. Rather, it means releasing the grip of craving and clinging that so often leads to suffering. When we attach ourselves too tightly to material possessions, outcomes, or identities, we create tension and dissatisfaction. For example, imagine buying a new gadget because you believe it will make you happier or more productive. Initially, it might bring excitement, but over time, that feeling fades, leaving you searching for the next thing to fill the void. Non-attachment teaches us to enjoy experiences and objects without becoming dependent on them for happiness. This mindset allows us to appreciate the present moment fully, free from the burden of always wanting more. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in fostering non-attachment by helping us observe our desires and cravings without identifying with them. Instead of impulsively acting on every urge, we pause and ask ourselves, do I really need this? Will it add value to my life, or am I simply seeking temporary gratification? This reflective practice encourages intentional decision-making, reducing the likelihood of impulsive purchases or commitments that weigh us down. Over time, we develop a clearer understanding of what truly nourishes our soul versus what merely provides fleeting pleasure. Simplifying your environment is one of the most tangible ways to embrace simplicity. Physical clutter creates mental clutter, making it harder to focus, relax, and think creatively. By decluttering your home or workspace, you not only reduce visual noise, but also create a calmer, more inviting atmosphere. Start small, perhaps by organizing a single drawer, shelf, or corner, and gradually expand to larger areas. As you sort through items, ask yourself, does this bring me joy? Is it useful? Does it serve a purpose? If the answer is no, consider donating, recycling, or discarding it. The Japanese organizing expert Marie Kondo popularized the idea of keeping only those things that spark joy, and this principle aligns beautifully with mindfulness and simplicity. When your surroundings reflect intentionality and care, they become a source of inspiration rather than stress. Another aspect of simplifying your life involves streamlining your schedule. Many of us pack our days with back-to-back appointments, meetings, and activities, leaving little time for rest or reflection. While productivity is important, overloading your calendar leads to burnout and diminishes your ability to engage meaningfully with each task. To simplify your schedule, begin by prioritizing your commitments. Identify the activities that align with your values and goals, and let go of those that don't. Learn to say no gracefully, recognizing that saying yes to everything ultimately means saying no to what truly matters. Leave gaps between tasks to allow for transitions and spontaneity, and protect blocks of unscheduled time for relaxation, hobbies, or creative pursuits. A less crowded calendar gives you the freedom to move through your day with ease and intention. Mindful consumption extends beyond material goods to include how we interact with media, technology, and information. In today's digital age, we're bombarded with content vying for our attention: social media feeds, news alerts, streaming services, and endless advertisements. While some of this content may be valuable, much of it distracts us from what's happening in the present moment. Simplify your media diet by setting boundaries around screen time and curating the sources you engage with. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison or negativity, unsubscribe from newsletters you never read, and limit exposure to sensationalized news cycles. Replace passive consumption with active engagement, reading books that inspire you, listening to podcasts that educate or uplift, or watching films that provoke thought and emotion. When you consume mindfully, you reclaim control over your attention and energy. Relationships are another area where simplicity can enhance your well-being. Deep, meaningful connections thrive when we invest quality time and presence rather than spreading ourselves thin across superficial interactions. Simplify your social circle by focusing on the people who truly matter, those who support, challenge, and enrich your life. Let go of toxic or draining relationships that deplete your energy and self-esteem. Practice mindful communication by being fully present during conversations, listening deeply, and speaking authentically. These efforts strengthen bonds and foster mutual understanding, creating a network of love and trust that sustains you through life's ups and downs. Simplicity also applies to how we view ourselves and our roles in the world. Society often pressures us to adopt multiple identities as professionals, parents, partners, friends, volunteers, and more, each with its own set of expectations and obligations. While these roles are important, trying to excel at all of them simultaneously can lead to overwhelm and fragmentation. Embrace simplicity by reconnecting with your core identity, the essence of who you are beneath the labels. Spend time reflecting on your values, passions, and purpose, and let these guide your decisions and actions. When you live authentically aligned with your true self, you radiate confidence and contentment that attract others and inspire creativity. Nature offers profound lessons in simplicity. Observe how trees shed their leaves in autumn, trusting that new growth will emerge in spring. Watch how rivers carve paths through mountains, adapting to obstacles with grace and persistence. Nature operates with effortless efficiency, using only what's necessary to sustain life. By immersing yourself in natural settings, you absorb these principles of simplicity, learning to flow with life's rhythms rather than resist them. Whether it's tending a garden, hiking a trail, or simply sitting under a tree, spending time in nature reminds you of the beauty and sufficiency of the present moment. Minimalism, a lifestyle centered on owning fewer possessions, is often associated with simplicity, but its scope extends far beyond material goods. True minimalism is about eliminating anything that doesn't contribute to your highest good, whether it's physical clutter, emotional baggage, or limiting beliefs. It's about creating space, not just in your home but in your mind and heart, for what truly matters. Minimalism encourages you to define success on your own terms, rejecting societal pressures to accumulate wealth, status, or accolades. When you live minimally, you discover that less truly is more. You experience greater freedom, clarity, and joy. Creativity flourishes in environments of simplicity because it thrives on focus and restraint. Constraints often spark innovation, forcing us to think outside the box and find elegant solutions. Consider haiku poetry, which conveys deep meaning within just 3 lines and 17 syllables, or minimalist art, which uses clean lines, negative space, and muted colors to evoke powerful emotions. Similarly, when you simplify your creative process, whether it's writing, painting, cooking, or problem-solving, you strip away distractions and hone in on the essence of your work. This clarity amplifies impact, allowing your creations to resonate more deeply with others. Routine is another ally in the pursuit of simplicity. Establishing consistent habits reduces decision fatigue and frees up mental energy for more important tasks. For instance, having a morning ritual such as drinking tea, journaling, or meditating sets a positive tone for the day ahead. Creating evening routines like reading, stretching, or reflecting helps you wind down and prepare for restful sleep. Routines provide structure without rigidity, offering a framework within which spontaneity and creativity can thrive. They also reinforce mindfulness by encouraging you to approach daily activities with presence and care. Gratitude is perhaps the simplest yet most transformative practice you can adopt. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance, helping you recognize the countless blessings already present in your life. Take a few moments each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as basic as clean water, fresh air, or the ability to see colors. Expressing gratitude not only boosts happiness but also strengthens resilience, enabling you to navigate challenges with grace and optimism. Gratitude reminds you that joy doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's always available if you choose to look for it. Finally, remember that simplicity is a practice, not a destination. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed by complexity, and others when simplicity feels effortless. That's okay. The goal isn't to achieve some ideal state of perfection. It's to keep moving toward greater alignment with what matters most. Trust the process, honor your pace, and celebrate small victories along the way. Each step toward simplicity is a gift to yourself and to the world. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how simplicity might enrich your own life and creative pursuits. What steps could you take today to simplify your environment, schedule, or mindset? Perhaps it's clearing out a drawer, setting boundaries around screen time, or taking a mindful walk in nature. Whatever form it takes, know that embracing simplicity is an act of courage and self-love. It's a declaration that you deserve to live with intention, authenticity, and joy. Chapter 10: Sustaining your practice. Sustaining a mindfulness, meditation, or creative practice is one of the most rewarding yet challenging aspects of personal growth. It's easy to feel inspired in the beginning when everything feels fresh and exciting, but maintaining momentum over time requires commitment, patience, and resilience. In this chapter, we'll explore how to build a sustainable practice that supports your well-being, creativity, and overall sense of fulfillment. Whether you're just starting out or looking to deepen an existing routine, these strategies will help you stay grounded, motivated, and aligned with your goals. The first step in sustaining any practice is setting realistic expectations. Many people begin with grand ambitions, vowing to meditate for an hour every day, write pages upon pages, or overhaul their entire lifestyle overnight. While enthusiasm is wonderful, such lofty goals often lead to disappointment and burnout when reality doesn't match our idealized vision. Instead, start small and focus on consistency rather than duration. Committing to 5 minutes of meditation, journaling a single sentence, or dedicating 10 minutes to mindful breathing each day is far more effective than attempting something unsustainable. Over time, these small actions compound, creating lasting habits that become second nature. Mindfulness teaches us to approach our practices with flexibility and compassion. Life is unpredictable, and there will inevitably be days when sticking to your routine feels impossible. On those days, resist the urge to criticize yourself or abandon your efforts altogether. Instead, acknowledge the challenge without judgment and adapt as needed. For instance, if you can't sit quietly for meditation due to a hectic schedule, try practicing mindfulness while commuting, cooking, or folding laundry. The key is to remain adaptable, finding ways to integrate your practice into the flow of daily life rather than forcing it into rigid structures that might not fit. Accountability is another powerful tool for sustaining your practice. Sharing your goals with someone you trust, a friend, family member, mentor, or coach, creates a sense of responsibility and encouragement. Knowing that someone else is aware of your intentions can motivate you to follow through even when motivation wanes. Accountability partners can also provide valuable feedback, celebrate your progress, and offer support during difficult times. If in-person connections aren't feasible, consider joining online communities or forums where like-minded individuals share tips, resources, and inspiration. Being part of a supportive network reminds you that you're not alone on this journey. Tracking your progress is another way to sustain your practice. Keeping a record of your efforts, whether it's a meditation log, a gratitude journal, or a sketchbook, helps you see how far you've come and identify patterns or areas for improvement. Reflecting on past entries can reveal insights about your growth, challenges, and breakthroughs, reinforcing your commitment to the process. There are many apps and tools available to assist with tracking, but even a simple notebook works beautifully. The act of documenting your journey transforms abstract aspirations into tangible evidence of progress, fueling motivation and confidence. Mindful reflection is essential for sustaining long-term engagement with your practice. Periodically take stock of why you started and what you hope to achieve. Are your current activities still aligned with your original intentions? Have your needs or circumstances changed? Regularly revisiting your purpose ensures that your practice remains relevant and meaningful. For example, if you began meditating to reduce stress but now find yourself drawn to exploring self-compassion, adjust your techniques accordingly. Flexibility allows your practice to evolve alongside you, preventing stagnation and keeping it vibrant. Incorporating variety into your routine prevents boredom and keeps your practice dynamic. Repetition is important for building skill, but too much sameness can lead to monotony. Experiment with different forms of meditation, such as guided visualizations, loving-kindness practices, or body scans, to keep things interesting. Similarly, if you're pursuing creative endeavors, alternate between mediums, styles, or projects to stimulate fresh perspectives. Variety not only enhances enjoyment but also broadens your skills and knowledge, making you a more versatile and resilient practitioner. Self-compassion is crucial for overcoming setbacks and staying committed to your practice. Perfectionism, the belief that every session must be flawless, is one of the biggest barriers to sustainability. When you miss a day, struggle with focus, or produce work that feels subpar, remind yourself that imperfection is part of the process. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a dear friend facing similar challenges. Silently repeat affirmations like, "I am doing my best," "This is part of learning," or "Progress takes time." Self-compassion softens the harshness of self-criticism, creating a safe space for experimentation and growth. Celebrating milestones, both big and small, is another key to sustaining your practice. Recognizing achievements reinforces positive behaviors and boosts morale. Milestones don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as completing a week of consistent meditation, finishing a draft of a story, or decluttering a single room. Mark these moments with rituals that bring you joy, a special meal, a walk in nature, or a heartfelt message to yourself. Celebrating progress acknowledges the effort you've invested and inspires you to continue moving forward. Integrating mindfulness into your practice itself enhances sustainability. Pay attention to how you feel before, during, and after each session. Notice any resistance, excitement, frustration, or calmness that arises. This awareness helps you understand what's working and what needs adjustment. For instance, if you notice that morning meditation leaves you feeling refreshed and focused, prioritize it as part of your daily routine. Conversely, if a particular activity consistently drains your energy or causes stress, consider modifying or replacing it. Mindfulness ensures that your practice serves you rather than becoming another source of pressure. Balance is also critical for sustaining your efforts. While dedication is admirable, obsessing over your practice can lead to imbalance and exhaustion. Make sure to leave room for rest, play, and spontaneity. Allow yourself permission to take breaks when needed, trusting that stepping back temporarily won't derail your progress. In fact, periods of rest often spark renewed energy and creativity, enabling you to return with greater clarity and enthusiasm. Balance ensures that your practice enriches your life rather than overwhelming it. Gratitude plays a transformative role in sustaining your journey. Cultivating gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a sense of contentment and appreciation. Take time to acknowledge the benefits your practice has brought into your life: greater peace and improved relationships, enhanced creativity, or simply moments of presence. Expressing gratitude amplifies these positive effects, motivating you to continue investing in your growth. Gratitude also reminds you that the journey itself is the reward, freeing you from attachment to specific outcomes. Finally, remember that sustainability is deeply personal. What works for one person may not resonate with another. Trust your instincts and honor your unique rhythm. Some days you'll feel inspired and unstoppable. Other days, simply showing up will feel like enough, and that's perfectly okay. The beauty of mindfulness, meditation, and creativity lies in their adaptability. They meet you where you are, offering tools to navigate life's complexities with grace and authenticity. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how you can sustain your own practice in ways that align with your values and goals. What steps could you take today to ensure consistency, flexibility, and joy in your journey? Perhaps it's setting a gentle reminder to meditate, journaling about your progress, or celebrating a recent accomplishment. Whatever form it takes, know that sustaining your practice is an ongoing act of self-care and intentionality. By nurturing this foundation, you create a life rich with meaning, connection, and possibility. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence and participation. Whether you've been with me since the beginning or joined somewhere along the way, your willingness to explore these ideas, to open your heart and mind to the wisdom of Buddhism, meditation, mindfulness, and creativity is truly inspiring. This isn't just a video, it's a shared experience, a stepping stone on your path toward greater peace, purpose, and possibility. Over the past 2 hours, we've delved into ancient teachings and modern practices that illuminate the interconnectedness of our inner worlds and outer lives. We've explored how mindfulness invites us to embrace the present moment, how meditation clears the clutter of the mind, and how creativity flows naturally when we let go of fear and attachment. These tools aren't just abstract concepts, they're practical gifts you can carry with you every day, weaving them into the fabric of your existence in ways that feel authentic and meaningful. Remember, this work is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up again and again with curiosity and compassion for yourself, for others, and for the world around you. There will be days when everything clicks and other days when it feels like you're starting from scratch. That's okay. Growth doesn't happen in straight lines, it spirals, ebbs, and flows. What matters most is your intention, the quiet commitment to keep moving forward, one mindful step at a time. Creativity, mindfulness, and meditation are not destinations, they're lifelong journeys. They ask us to stay present, to lean into discomfort, and to trust the process, even when the outcome is uncertain. And while the road may sometimes feel challenging, it's also filled with moments of wonder, connection, and transformation. Each breath, each thought, each act of kindness becomes an opportunity to rediscover who you are and what you're capable of creating, not just in the external world, but within yourself. I encourage you to take what resonates with you from today's exploration and make it your own. Maybe it's committing to 5 minutes of meditation each morning, practicing gratitude before bed, or simply pausing to notice the beauty in the ordinary. Whatever it is, know that even the smallest actions ripple outward, shaping your life in profound ways. Creativity flourishes in environments of presence and care, so nurture those qualities within yourself and watch how they expand into every corner of your being. If anything we've discussed has sparked inspiration or insight, I invite you to share it with others. Conversations have the power to ignite change, not just in ourselves, but in those around us. Talk to a friend about mindfulness, introduce someone to loving-kindness meditation, or collaborate on a creative project that brings joy and meaning. Together we create communities of support, empathy, and innovation, reminding each other that none of us walks this path alone. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with a simple yet powerful reminder. You already possess everything you need to live a fulfilling, creative, and mindful life. The answers aren't out there. They're within you, waiting to be uncovered through patience, practice, and presence. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And above all, trust that the effort you put into cultivating awareness and compassion will return to you tenfold in unexpected and beautiful ways. Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Mindful Zone. If you found value in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with anyone who might benefit from its message. Your support means the world to me and helps spread these teachings to others who are seeking guidance and inspiration. Until next time, may your days be filled with peace, clarity, and boundless creativity. May you approach challenges with courage, celebrate victories with humility, and cherish the ordinary moments that make life extraordinary. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. It continues with every breath you take. So breathe deeply, live fully, and trust that the best is yet to come. Namaste.